a specific frequency to affect the way we behave. It's triggering a specific human frequency.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Your guns are knockoffs. Your guns are the rejects. You don't know about percussion grenades. You don't know about direct energy weapons. You don't know about none of this. You don't know about DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency that has robotic mosquitoes, robotic snakes, robotic dogs and cheetahs. You don't know about that. They assassinate you with something that looks natural. And you talking about my phone 5, click, click. Bruh, you don't know what type of enemy you dealing with. Because you talking about, but you dealing with a master. Your guns are not.
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Alright, and what I want to do is respond, to this video. I believe this guy's a Muslim, I don't know his name. Alright, but he made a point, dealing with, the enemy, okay? And the enemy, okay, of our people, as people, look at, black versus white, alright? But as we, matured in the spirit and understanding of the scriptures, we know, okay, that this rivalry goes back, to Jacob and Esau, okay? The progenitor of the so-called white race being Esau, Edom. Alright, Esau. Alright, and you have progenitor of the tribes, alright, which consist of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being Jacob. Okay, and that's why in this society, there's a group of people that's always targeted way more than others. Alright, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because this is an ancient rivalry, alright, that's center stage, in the earth. Okay, and this man, alright, Esau, Edom, he was blessed with the sword. Okay, and this guy, he made a point towards the end. Jake talks about killing. Okay, let's play this.
You don't know what type of enemy you dealing with. Because you talking about, but you dealing with a master. Your gun.
See, he said, our people don't know the enemy that they're dealing with. You see, Jake talks about killing, which Esau finances that, as a way to self-destruct. Push Jake to self-destruct. Okay? Well, he said, yeah, you talk about killing. This man is a master of killing. This is what he do. That's his arena. Okay? That's why this man, has been able to make these nations stand down in his rulership, because he's on another level with the sword. Okay? So what we're seeing now, the Lord has had to exalt these other nations, has had to, let these other nations tap into their sword so they can deal. Okay? To fulfill prophecy, man. You see, this is how advanced, this man has been with the sword, that the Lord had to, scripture say, let the weak say I'm strong. The Lord had to intervene, okay? And let these nations build up their weaponry just to, stand up and stand to prophecy against this guy, man. But see, our people have no clue of the enemy that they're dealing with. Okay? Even our people that, are not, militant, or think, that they're, that they have some type of power in the gun, but just, they take Esau lightly. They think Esau's hatred, is a cop, killing a random Jake. Donald Trump saying something outlandish, on Twitter. Okay, they have no idea, the satanic, all right, lewd, okay, bloodthirsty nation of people that they're dealing with, man. Okay, and this man has incorporated death in everything, man. All right, and this man is on the level, all right, because the Lord, all right, and you go here, this man is known as the sword. Okay, let's go here. Psalm 17 and 13, it says, "Arise, O Lord Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, disappoint him, cast him down, and deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Okay, the wicked, which is thy sword. So the scriptures, refer, to Esau, all right, as the sword. All right, we know the wicked is Esau, all right, and a reputation that he has is the sword, is weaponry, man. Okay, and the Lord uses, this man on the left-hand side to judge. See, that's how powerful the Lord is. He'll use the whole nation to judge another nation. You look in the book of Judges, all right, we fell victim to what? When we would be disobedient, the Lord will put us in the captivity under a nation, another nation. Okay? That's how the Lord, how powerful the Lord is. He'll use a whole nation to judge another nation, man. All right? And the Lord, all right, has used several nations on us. We had our ass whooped by every switch on the tree. Okay, and the latest and the greatest is Esau, Edom. Okay, but even you go here, this is Isaiah 10 and 5. It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation." Okay, so during the time of the Assyrian Empire, he used the Assyrians to do what? Take down the northern tribes. And he was angered, okay, at the northern kingdom for idolatry, man. Okay, so he allowed a nation to come into power, become powerful, and go judge. Okay, and take, his people into captivity. He used another nation as a whipping stick. All right, and at this time in history, it was the Assyrians, but now we know Esau is like the modern day Assyrian, man. Okay, it says, "O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send them, okay, against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets." Okay, and our people don't understand that the Lord's going to let this man loose, man. This is what we're constantly warning our people, when it comes to this devil. This is not, I don't know what Jake think this is, man. Okay, I don't think, a lot of people look at Esau, these Starbuck Edomites. Okay, these walk in the park Edomites. Okay, but this man, all right, the Edomites that run the earth through economics, military, okay, propaganda, these have become mighty men in the earth through their technology, man. Okay, and he has a sword that's on another level, and it's going to be unleashed, man. Okay, we haven't seen, okay, what the Lord has allowed this man access to. We've seen only but a taste, like he said in the video. Niggas have whatever niggas got, they're at least a half a century old. Okay, Jake just started talking about Dracos. Well, they was giving Dracos to Bin Laden, okay, in the 80s, to combat Russia. Okay, almost 40 some years ago, man. Whatever niggas got, whatever our people have access to, okay, you best believe they're down there half a century old, okay, or more. All right, and then even the things that's released, that's not the greatest version of that. Okay, so when you go into, all right, dealing with, Esau, all right, the Lord is gonna showcase his sword, all right, during this time of judgment, because Esau is gonna be a tool. See, all judgment comes from the Lord. Let's get that. Let's get that in Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel 37. No, Ezekiel 3 and 17. All right, Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. You see? So the Lord raised up his men to warn. Okay? Because all judgment comes from him. And he said, warn them of me. See, the Lord has unlimited ways to judge, but the judgment comes from him. So we're telling our people, when you get right, as we, if we're in good standings with Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, we're good. Okay? We don't have to worry about anything. But if you're not in good standings with Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, you have to worry about everything. Okay? You have to worry about the famine. You have to worry about Esau being turned loose. You have to worry about, the pestilence, the teeth of wild beasts, this third world war. Okay? The blackouts. You see, you have to worry about these things. Okay? Talking to you tribes, man, that refuse to repent during this grace period, man. Because the Lord is giving ample warning. He's raised up his men throughout the earth, man, to constantly warn, and warn. Okay? So the Lord has raised up a warning through the prophets, through the ministry of the prophets, man. And if this warning is ignored, it's going to be, hey, you're going to be left out there, man. Okay? You're going to be left out there to the mercy of all these different judgments, man. Okay? And it says, therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me, man. So the warning, okay, has been issued. Okay? You go here. Because all judgment comes from Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. This is Sirach 18:1. Says, he that liveth forever have created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from the profane. Okay? So all authority, all judgment comes from Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah on the left or the right hand side. Okay? And we come to the time, all right, well, we're about to see both at its peak. We're going to see the left hand peak out Esau Edom. Okay? And he's going to do what he was designed to do. You see, Esau was designed for a particular purpose, man. All right? You go here to Revelation 6 and 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and it's speaking of Esau Edom, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and they did, it says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. This was given, okay, this man was given the authority to take peace from the earth, okay, with his sword. And it's in everything, man, because a sword is a tool of destruction, man. So this man makes everything, he turns everything into a tool of destruction. Okay? This man turns everything to weaponry just for destruction. From the food to, relationships. You see, even sex, he turned that to something destructive. Okay? When it comes to, just the instruments of slaughter, this man, has been granted, all right, another level. Okay? Because the Lord has allowed this man to tap in. You see? And as you, continue, all right, you Israelites, as you continue, you spend your energy on to mock the prophets, okay, argue about dumb topics, keep up with celebrity gossip, you have no idea what's at hand. Matter of fact, Yahweh Shah said that. You have, Jake has no clue, all right, the circumstances that they're in. Okay? That's why Jake just engulfed, okay, in vanity and things that don't matter, because they don't understand the circumstances that they're in. Luke 19 and 40 says, and he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, also like verse 41, Luke 19 and 41, it says, and when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. Okay? So Yahushua was letting them know, like, if you understood, what belongs to your peace. Okay? But remember, the 2/3, they're blinded from everything. They're blinded from the good news. They're blinded from the bad news. They're blinded from everything. Okay? To them, prophecy isn't real. Okay? Good or bad. So they're blinded to what's right before them, man. You see? It says, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou at least in this day, the things which belongs unto thy peace, but now are they hid from thine eyes. Okay? Because Jake, Jake is in this state of, kicking in memes and YouTube videos and, comedy, Jake can be goofy and, these arguments that don't matter. Okay? When the Lord, has his devil geared up, man, to judge. Okay? It said, for the days shall come, upon thee, for the days shall come upon thee, the time, that thy enemy shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side. And this happened during 70 AD. Okay? How much more in this time? Okay? Because when things get bad, there's going to be an emphasis on these Jake communities, man. Okay? When resources are cut off, because that's what, a trench, besieging is. You cut off, a city, or an area from resources, man. And okay, even, on a small scale, with him cutting back with the hood, with the aid, the government assistance, whatever he's cutting back on, well, that's a part of what cutting off resources, man. Okay? And you best believe, when these things get scarce, they're gonna get scarce for Jake first, man. Okay? And it says, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knowest not the time of thy visitation. Okay? And our people are not in tune with the time of their visitation, man. You see, Jake has no idea, of what's to come or what's to be when it comes to how the devil is going to be unleashed. Okay? Like you said in the video, hey, our people don't know the enemy. All right? But the Lord's going to introduce them to their enemy, especially all you niggas that love Esau, and that's your only objective in life is to keep this nigga comfortable. The Lord gonna unleash this nigga on another wave on you guys, man. But that's the point. Just want to bring that out. Lord will, you brothers, and you sisters, edify till next time I say shalom.